Venus and the Monster. Once upon a time, there was a wealthy merchant who lived with his 3 daughters. The 2 elder daughters, Dorothy and Dinah, were quite selfish. The youngest daughter, who was the prettiest amongst the 3, was lovingly called Venus by her father. The elder daughters were jealous of Venus. While they used to idle away their time in eating and dressing up, Venus used to do all housework. She was a kind, hardworking, and helpful person. One day, the old merchant received a very bad news. Due to a terrible storm, the merchant's ships had sunk into the sea, and he had lost all his money and goods. He called his daughters and informed them, "My dears, we have lost everything. We have nothing left except this house."
"What? We have lost everything?"
exclaimed a shocked Dorothy.
"Oh no, it means now I can't spend money on dresses and jewelry,"
said Dinah. But Venus comforted her father. "Don't worry, father. Everything will be fine." A month passed by. Venus tried to keep everyone happy at home by doing all work and cooking delicious food. Then one day the merchant received news that one of his ships hadn't sunk. He was immediately called to the harbor to take possession of the vessel. The merchant was very glad. Hoping to get some of his wealth back, he cheerfully asked his daughters, "What would you like me to bring for you, my dears?"
"Father, get me new dresses." "And for me you can get jewelry, lot of jewelry,"
chirped Dorothy and Dinah excitedly. "Father, I just want you to come home peacefully. You can get me a rose. That will be enough for me," said Venus. Soon their father left for the harbor, but on reaching the harbor, he realized that the ship was not in a good condition and all the goods were destroyed. Disappointed, he turned back to go home empty-handed. Unfortunately, he lost his way in the forest, as it was a dark winter night and there was a heavy snowfall. All of a sudden, he sighted a castle in the middle of the forest. The merchant entered the castle, but there was no one to be seen. He called out, "Hello, is anyone there? Can I spend the night here, please? I am lost." But there was no reply. The merchant found this very strange. Nevertheless, he entered a room where he was surprised to see a table laden with delicious food. "Oh, I am so hungry. Let me eat something first. Then I will talk to the owner of this place." After eating, the merchant was feeling very tired and drowsy. When he entered another room, he saw it was a spacious bedroom with a cozy bed. He couldn't resist. He just lay on the bed and within no time was fast asleep. The next morning when he woke up, he saw that someone had placed clean clothes near his bed. He soon freshened up and went downstairs. Again the table was full of tasty breakfast. He had his fill and called out, "My dear sir, whoever you are, thank you so much for your generosity. I must take your leave now." When he stepped outside, he saw a beautiful rose garden. He suddenly remembered his youngest daughter's wish. "Oh, great! I will take a rose from here for Venus. At least she will be happy." But as soon as he plucked a red rose, he heard a tremendous growl from behind. When he turned back, he saw a huge, ferocious monster standing in front of him. "How dare you?" Who allowed you to pluck rose from my garden? I treated you well and allowed you to spend a night in my castle. And this is how you show your appreciation. I will punish you, roared the monster. Please forgive me. I was just fulfilling my daughter's wishes. Let me go, please. My 3 daughters are waiting for me at home. 3 daughters, you say? Then if one of your daughters come willingly to live here in this castle with me, I will spare your life. And if no one comes here, then I will find you and kill you. The monster then sent off the merchant on a horse with 3 bags full of jewelry. When the merchant reached home, his elder daughters were delighted. But Venus noticed her father's sad face. "Father, why are you so sad?" The merchant told his daughters about the castle and the monster's demand. Dorothy and Dinah immediately refused and instead started blaming Venus for wishing a rose. "This has all happened because of me. So, Father, I am ready to live in the castle with the monster. Please take me there," said Venus to her father. So the unwilling father took Venus to the monster's castle. When Venus faced the monster for the first time, she was terrified. He was so ugly. The monster ordered the merchant to leave immediately. Then he turned to Venus and asked, "Have you come here willingly?" "Yes," replied Venus. "Go upstairs and take some rest. Good night." Seeing this, the monster disappeared. Venus did as instructed. She found a beautifully decorated room with a cozy bed and slept undisturbed. When she woke up the next morning, she found her dressing table set out with everything she could possibly want. When she went downstairs, she found her breakfast on the table. Soon after she finished eating breakfast, she decided to explore the castle. So she checked all the rooms of the castle. Each and every room of the castle was beautifully decorated. There was a big library with a variety of collection of books. She sat in a rocking chair and picked out a book of her liking and started reading. After some time, she stepped out and saw a beautiful garden with colorful flowers and butterflies. She amused herself in the garden for some time. She started thinking that this place was so beautiful, but the thought of staying here as a prisoner made her melancholy. Soon it was evening. Once more she was surprised to see the dining table laden with delicious meal. She had just finished eating when she heard the monster's footsteps approaching. "Good evening, Venus. I hope you had a good day. Now tell me, do you find me scary? Or do you like me? Will you marry me?" Venus was shocked to hear this. She could only utter a horrified "No!" on which the monster angrily stomped out of the room. This happened every evening. The monster would ask her the same question, and when she refused, he would go away with a sad face. As time passed by, Venus was no longer afraid of the monster. In fact, she had grown used to him. The monster gave her new clothes to wear, beautiful roses, and books to read. He was always very kind to her. In the daytime, she would spend time in the beautiful rose garden, and in the evening, she would sit in the armchair while the monster played the piano for her and chatted with her. This went on for a long time. Then one day, Venus had a bad dream. She saw that her father was ill and quite serious. The next morning, she pleaded to the monster.
I am missing my father and sisters. I want to see my father. Please, let me go only for a week to see him. I promise to come back to you.
The monster was in love with Venus, and so he could not refuse her. I cannot refuse you anything that you ask for, even though it shall cost me my life. So, if you do not come back here in good time, then you will find me dead.
No, please don't say that. I will be back in no time. I promise,
pleaded Venus. Then the monster gave a ring to Venus. Wear this ring on your finger and sleep peacefully, and you shall see your father when you wake up. And when you wish to come back, remove this ring from your finger, and you will find yourself in the palace again. Good night. I will miss you, Venus.
Good night. I will miss you too,
said Venus. Okay, but don't forget your promise. Then the monster left, and Venus wore the ring on her finger and immediately went to sleep. The next morning, when she opened her eyes, she found herself in her father's house. Her father was very glad to see her, and even her sisters were surprised by her magical appearance. Venus took good care of her father, and soon he became well. More than a week had passed by. Venus had completely forgotten about returning back to the castle. Then one night, she dreamt that the monster was dying. Suddenly she woke up and remembered her promise. She hurriedly bade goodbye to her father and sisters and quickly removed the ring from her finger. The next minute, she was in the castle. But the monster was nowhere to be found. She searched the entire castle frantically, calling out to him, but couldn't find him anywhere. There were tears in her eyes. Finally, she ran out to the rose garden, and there, in the middle of the garden, she found him lying still on the ground. She rushed to him.
Oh my God! Is he really dead? Oh no! It's all my fault. I shouldn't have left him alone. Oh dear!
Crying, she hugged him. Soon she realized that the monster was still breathing. She hugged him tightly and whispered,
Please open your eyes. I love you so much.
A tear from her eyes fell on the monster's face, and slowly he opened his eyes. Venus, did I just hear you say that you love me?
Yes, my dear, I do love you.
Venus, will you marry me?
Yes, I will.
When she said this, all of a sudden the weather changed. The earth started shaking and there was smoke everywhere. When she looked at the monster, in his place was a charming prince.
Oh my God! You are the prince of my dreams.
Oh Venus, my sweet Venus, thank you for releasing me from a terrible curse. A witch had put a spell on me when I had tried to capture her, and the curse could be broken only with true love. You have saved my life. Now tell me, will you marry me, Venus?
Oh yes, yes, yes.
And they lived happily ever after.